Diamond Heels continue to have a terrific year. They've had a little bit of a scuffle. They lost 3 of their last 4, actually, as Adam and I are talking right now. Lost the series to Virginia 2-1, although really, in my uninformed opinion, should have won that series. They were up 11-6, 11-5 in the first game and let that slip away. And then lost a really close game to South Carolina in Charlotte. 2-1 was the final on Tuesday. Tar Heels have been on the road. It's at least 7 consecutive games that they've been on the road. So they will be excited to be back home starting today against Notre Dame, who's having a difficult season. See if the Tar Heels can have a successful weekend coming up. Nothing guaranteed, certainly in baseball. From what I have seen, Adam, it seems like, as Scott Forbes told us here a couple weeks ago when he joined us, one, the Tar Heels have a very quality lineup. I think it's difficult to go through their 1 through 9 because you don't get a lot of breaks. Now, having said that, they just scored 1 run against South Carolina, but it's baseball. That's going to happen. I think in total, the Tar Heels have a very stout lineup with a lot of difficult outs from top to bottom in that lineup. The defense has not been as good as they would like. I think it's been better once they've gotten into conference play. Their team fielding percentage is like 960 something, which is not a good number. They'd like that to be probably around like mid 970s, right? Like, I mean, that's the general area you'd like to be. And if you can be higher than that, awesome. Low 60s, not a great spot. And then, Adam, you get to the pitching side of things, and, you know, we knew the Tar Heels suffered a significant injury in the preseason with Jake Knapp going down, who's going to be the Friday night starter. I think that's fair to say. So they've been riding with 2 freshmen on the weekend, both of whom are talented, but they're freshmen. So you're going to have some weekends, and not stunning, at least in my opinion. You're in mid-April right now, and some of the freshmen are having some troubles right now. Well, yeah, they've been going for 2 months. There's still 2 months to go. It's natural for them to hit a wall, I think, a little bit, and you would also naturally expect them to bounce back and be stronger later in the year. Now, there's some other injury issues that we don't 100% know. I know Jefferson Boaz. Wait, not Jefferson Boaz. Folger Boaz. Jefferson Boaz's brother. Folger Boaz had to leave the South Carolina game on Tuesday with what appeared to be an issue. As Adam and I are talking right now, we don't know the status there. But this is a team, Adam, that I think will compete to have a national seed in the postseason. And if you're unfamiliar with baseball, being one of those top 8 national seeds is what you really, really want. 9 through 16 is good, is very good. But you'd really love 1 through 8 because that guarantees that as long as you're playing in the postseason before the College World Series, you'll be at home. And it feels to me as though, Adam, that will be very important for this group.
The Tar Heels are 20-0 at home right now.
Yeah.
Going into the Notre Dame series, so that will be important. The news on Boaz will be important because I don't think you can afford to be down at that point essentially 2 weekend guys.
That's hard for anybody.
That's tough. Yeah, yes, exactly. The pitching, even once Boaz went out, was really good against South Carolina. Tar Heel pitchers struck out 16.
Yeah, Tar Heels are – I mean, I feel like the Tar Heels are very good.
I think the pitching is good enough to keep you in a game. I think when you get into those three-game super regionals, you need more depth, and TBD whether the Tar Heels have that. The lineup is really good. They seem to hit for both power and average. The schedule is tough. Once you get past Notre Dame, just for example, next week, Carolina plays Coastal and 3-game series at State. That's a pretty and the State series is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you play Coastal Tuesday and then State Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
They still go to Duke, who's very good.
Duke's very good.
Now, they've also already played some very good teams. I mean, they
and won the series.
Yeah, they swept Georgia Tech. They swept Wake Forest.
And Wake's red hot.
They again, won a game at Virginia. Would have probably liked to at least have 2 there, but they did win it. Didn't get swept there. So they've already played some good teams, but the ACC is just unrelenting. So there are more good teams to come.
they're plenty good enough to be in the discussion as one of the best teams in the ACC, which by default means you're one of the best teams in the country.
Because they're leading the Coastal as we are speaking right now, correct?
And the team that is currently closest to them in the hunt for the Coastal is Virginia Tech, who comes to Boshemer here in a couple weeks. So, yes, they're good enough to be in the hunt. I think you're right that you need to shore up the defense because the level it's at right now, it's at the level of that's probably going to cost you a game you don't want to lose at some point down the road. But the offense has really done the job on most days. You need it's hard to say you need more out of Vance Honeycutt, but you need a little more contact out of Vance Honeycutt, who's hit the ball for power very successfully, but you need him to move the ball around a little more. And as we know, he's plenty good enough to do that. And I think a reasonable expectation will be that he will warm up as the season progresses.
I am just looking currently at the ACC standings, Adam, for baseball. Clemson atop because they still have Atlantic and Coastal in baseball.
Clemson's good.
Yeah, they're 10-2 in conference play. They're a full 3 games ahead of Florida State, and they've already played Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Maybe swept them, and if didn't sweep them, won the series for sure. Carolina right now is a game ahead of Virginia Tech and 2 games ahead of Virginia and Duke in the Coastal Division. So it is going to be competitive and good. Miami's only 16-16. That's a surprise.
I think Duke is probably the second best team in the Coastal. Virginia Tech has played a little above what people were expecting them to do. I think that Carolina-Duke series is going to be important. Clemson's really good. I mean, you didn't even just mention Wake Forest, which might be the best team in the whole league.
Yeah.
And their record right now does not reflect that, although they are playing better later. But nobody, assuming Wake doesn't get one of those top 8 seeds, nobody's going to be happy to see Wake show up on the other side of the bracket for them.
No. So looking forward to watching Carolina. I mean, yeah, Tar Heels are 20-0 at home and 6-7 at away or neutral sites. So,
and it's not like there's something wrong with them.
No.
The away sites are Miami, Wake, and what was the other road conference series? Someone else.
Virginia.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of teams are going to go 6-6-ish in those games.
Right.